Have you heard the latest rumor about Ripple buying Uphold? Oh yeah, we'll explore it and see if there's any merit to it. We'll also talk XRP price action. Trump's latest statement about crypto is something you need to hear. We'll talk some BNB news along with Stellar XLM news you gotta see along with...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
You know, baby, you're looking kinda hot over there. It must be the weather. You bet your butt it's the weather. I'm sweating my balls off over here. How hot is it by where you are? And let me know where that is in the comments down below. Upstate South Carolina feels like 100 degrees. Bitcoin's in it. Whoa, no, your comments come first. You thought I was going to mess that up? No. Brian G says, X is lighting up with rumors that Ripple's on the verge of acquiring Uphold. FUD sounds like the circle rumors. Oh, we're going to talk about it. I've got it in the queue. You think I was going to pass up on that? Corbin Dallas. Multipass. Name the movie. Even the worst Saturday is better than any Monday through Thursday. I've seen corn countless times. Good times. I've seen corn plenty of times as well. My wife and I, for our anniversary, saw corn down in Marietta, Georgia. M. Jawa says, Holderoni times. I love it, you jabronis. Bitcoin sitting at 107,428. It's 2441. Look at Soul, deep in the green. Well, pies, deep in the red. We're going to talk XRP price along with maybe some XLM price. We got to talk Stellar news. Why? Well, you'll see soon enough. But first, Bitcoin takes the pressure off the US dollar from President Trump. What? You got to hear this. United States President Donald Trump recently touted the positive acts of Bitcoin on the US economy included relieving pressure from the US dollar. This during the White House press conference on Friday. What? Come on now. The president said that he's a fan of the crypto industry, which has grown into a sector that cannot be ignored due to geostrategic competition. Trump added, it has become amazing. I mean, it's the jobs that it produces, and I notice more and more that you pay in Bitcoin. People are saying it takes a lot of pressure off the dollar, and it's a great thing for our country. Whoa. What about the rest of the digital assets, Trumpito? We've yet to hear anything since the March tweet from Donald Trump in regards to a Sol ADA XRP strategic reserve. I'll keep you informed on that. BNB sees weakening demand and increased sell-off. What's next? On-chain interest for BNB fades fast. Listen to this. This is very interesting, okay? Talking about daily transactions of BNB, on-chain transactions. Interest in trading and the utility of BNB across the BNB chain has weakened over the past day. At the time of writing, the number of daily transactions competed on chain has seen a steep decline, reaching its lowest level this month. The drop occurred after a 12% decline following 12.7 million daily transactions competing during the period on BSC scan. Okay, I'm sharing this because I want you to also look at Stellar chain, right? Look at this. The biggest chain in terms of transactions we've seen for Stellar happened between 2022 and early 2023. That's seen in orange. By the way, any article you've seen in this and all my other videos are linked to everyone in that description down below. The sweaty sack we call. Yeah, the description. All right, so you can see orange is on-chain transactions, process operations. Huge ramp up in 2022 into 2023, and now a steady decline. So it's not just BNB that's seeing a steady decline. It's also what everyone? The Stellar chain that's seeing a steady decline. So even though you have more building on the Stellar chain, less transactions and less people are using it. So even though you've got a growing number of accounts on the Stellar chain, there's less people using it, less assets and less trust lines being created. That's not a good sign, because what's the point of spending all the lumens to build if no one's using it and there's less interest on chain? So it's not just BNB, but also some of our favorites. And earlier I did one about a chain. What was that, everyone? Yeah, we talked a little bit about Polygon, didn't we? Yeah. We talked about Aptos. Yeah, we've talked about a bunch of them out there that have waning interest. All right, now let's go over to DGen World. Yeah, we know what that is. It's Twitter. Yeah, Twitter, DGen World. Oh, here we go. Fully locked in. I may have just manifested the entire XP community and manifesting Ripple buy and Uphold. It's just a rumor. Just like Ripple wanting to buy Circle. There was nothing ever substantiated about it. In fact, even Brad Garlinghouse said, look, it's not happening now. Where this comes from, I can't tell you. But here's the problem. You got leeches out there. If you aren't buying ZBCN right now while it's under a cent, you're crazy. Look, there's all sorts of media pariahs out there, and they're just trying to pump this stupid crap right now. Regulation, buying Uphold could bring more SEC attention to Ripple. Control concerns. Ripple owning XRP in the exchange may raise fairness issues. Tech upgrade needed. Uphold system would need changes to fully work with the XRP limit. There's all sorts of rumors flying around right now that Ripple is planning to buy Uphold. No, what Ripple's doing is they're buying custody, rails, and they're going stable coins. That's their bet right now. They haven't had any intentions whatsoever to buy an exchange. And in fact, this is just another thing. Thank you, Cartman, for helping us out. Going, no. This is just another thing out there that the smack monkeys, the hopium pumpers out there are just throwing, hoping the shit just sticks to the wall. Now, here's how you can tell, okay? Here's how you can tell this is total bullshit. Why now all of a sudden is ZBCN, right? ZBAC just thrown into this crap? Because it's the hopium pumpers, it's leeches. So you remember how Pi Network was leached onto Stellar with all their XLM news? ZBCN leeches onto the whole Ripple ecosystem. Just like Pi Network is. They're two of the same feather that flock together, right? So again, you've got a whole bunch more bullshit out here. When is Ripple buying Uphold? And it's a bunch of the same things. Ripple buying Uphold. All right, y'all now tripping. Ripple is not buying it. No, they're not. The whole problem is, though, is you go on Twitter now and go onto this, all you're seeing is tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of posts about it. More and more people posting stupid jerk-off YouTube videos about, get ready, Uphold unlocking, oh my god, get ready, melting faces. It's just all bullshit. Total bullshit. No. Ripple is not buying Uphold. This is just another stupid ass rumor out there. And in fact, if there was any legitimacy to this whatsoever, don't you think maybe the price of XRP would pump? Let's look at that price. Nope, sorry, didn't pump. Flat as a freaking dead person's heartbeat. That was pretty good, wasn't it? The problem I got with this is there seems to be every so often this crazy cracked out rumor mill that gets started out here in Twitterverse. And I don't know what it is about Twitter or X, but I mean, it's everything from Ripple buying Circle, Ripple buying Uphold, Ripple buying this, Ripple buying that. No, and no. And what's frustrating about this is this just sets up what? Unrealistic expectations. You know who benefits from this? Uphold does. You know who doesn't benefit from this? The XRP retail trader who's sitting here going, oh, well, this is good for XRP, right? This should make my XRP worth more. And then they look at it and they go, oh, this chart tells me that no action happened. Oh. Because think about that. Think about what happened with Circle, right? All those people on X said the same thing. Oh, Ripple's going to be buying Circle. I'm an expert out there. Ripple buying Circle. And then what happened was Circle IPO came out, Circle even said, nope, sorry, we're not selling privately. Brad Garlinghouse came out and said, no, we're not interested in buying Circle. Then Circle goes public. Their valuation 10x priced Ripple out of the market completely, and yet you still had the same fucking morons and tard cards out there saying, yeah, Ripple's gonna buy them, this is 4D chess. No, you're just a fucking idiot. So yeah, just throwing it out there. So, just putting it out there, it's just a rumor, nothing really juicy is happening with that, and in fact, part of the problem that we got is all the rumors. What about all those rumors about Jed McCaleb using XLM for Mars, rockets, and all their space exploration stuff? Did that help the price of XLM? No, it didn't. Ripple acquired Hidden Road. Did that help out the price of XRP? No. The only thing that really helped out the price of XRP was a change in presidential tone in the United States. Even Torres's recent thing, right? Where Ripple and the SEC said, hey, look, we're going to drop our appeals. We're going to pay the fine. Did that help out the price? No, it did not. The ETF that launched in Canada, did that help out the price? No, it did not. So again, these rumors are damaging to the community. Why? Because it's just hopium and unrealistic expectations. It would be like you telling your wife, baby, it's Saturday night. I'm going to give you 1 hour of thunder. And you tell her all night long, I'm going to rock you. I'm not going to finish until you finish. And she's like, oh shit, this is freaking great. And then all of a sudden, you know what happens? You drink a few beers, you end up passed out on the couch, and you know what? You give her 0 minutes of thunder. Yeah, overpromise and underdeliver. Just like the rumor about Ripple buying Uphold. So what do you think? You think someone who's got bags that bought at the tip, who's deep in the red, starts these rumors? Or do you think it's a network of YouTubers or X accounts that start this kind of stuff where they go, all right, look. Price action's kind of boring. What do you think? You want to start this rumor? You think it's the same people that started the Ripple buying Circle rumor that's starting this one? Probably. Because they're mostly the same accounts. And if you notice, it's all the same accounts that start spewing the shit all at the same time. So it makes you then wonder, who's paying these accounts to start these rumors? Or is it really honestly people that are so deep in the red that they're trying whatever they can, throwing it at the wall to make it stick to see if it works? Pretty pathetic though, isn't it? Because the reality is, crying wolf does what? It screws you over, doesn't it? Overpromising and underdelivering screws you over as well. All the Ripple Circle talk, those were all lies. All of the other Ripple rumors that have been false. What about the XRP buyback? All lies. That screws over retail, doesn't it, right? Gives you these expectations and then they don't come true. What about the government? What about the Federal Reserve using XRP? All those lies. That screws all over retail as well. What about BNB? Less and less chain usage. Stellar, less and less chain usage. That's my point. You got to be realistic with what's going on so that you get the real story. Now, look, it's fun. You want to play in the world of make-believe, rainbows and lollipops and things shoved up your beeholes? Cool. That's awesome. The problem is, though, is when something really does happen, people don't know whether to believe it or not, because all they hear is all this fake stuff that they're like, well, wait a minute. Is this a real story or is this one of those fake hopium ones out there? And that's my point, right? You keep crying wolf over and over and over. When you have the real news, you're like, oh, I don't know if this is real or not. And that's the big problem. It's just like in the beginning of the Trump administration when he announced XRP, Sol, and ADA for strategic reserves. We haven't gotten anything about that since, have we? Overpromising and underdelivering. And it's not a political jab. It's simply you come out on the mic and say, we're going to make these a strategic reserve, and then you don't do anything. I got a mic in my hand. Just pretend there's a mic in my hand. You got a strategic reserve, and then what? And nothing happens. Overpromising and underdelivering. Oh, we're going to have regs by July 4th. Well, that's not happening. Overpromising and underdelivering. Oh my God. It gets tiring, doesn't it? And you can tell if news is legit or not because you could look at the price action and go, oh, well, wait a minute. That didn't do shit for the price. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because it was bullshit again. So, Ripple buying Uphold? No, not going to happen. What Ripple's going to do is they're going to focus on RLUSD. They're going to focus on custody solutions. They're going to focus on rails. That's going to be their big things going forward. High profit Aroni things. Now, if you want to hang out in DGen World on Twitter, you're welcome to do that, but just take it with a grain of salt. You want to promise your lady an hour of power down below? You do that, but then you better deliver an hour of power, or else homegirl is going to be like, yo, that was the most pathetic 4 minutes ever, and you know what she's going to do? She's going to go to the guy next door who's going to deliver 6 minutes. Do you know why? Because he's going to promise her 3 minutes and deliver 6, and you know what she's going to say? You didn't overpromise and underdeliver. You underpromised and overdelivered, and that's what we all want. Choo-choo, bitches.